Hey guys, it's Key. Welcome back to my channel. This is the 14th time that I'm recording this intro. I hope your week was great. My morning is not, because this intro is taking me way too much. The other day, I asked myself what would I want to watch if I was like 17, 16. And the answer is that I would want someone to answer the questions that I had at that time, like the doubts that I had at that time. So I went on Reddit and I looked for some questions from teenagers to young adults or adults. And today we're gonna answer some of those questions. The post that I found on Reddit is from 7 years ago, so it's a little vintage, and it's called Teenagers, What Questions Do You Want Answered by Adults? Let's just get into it. If you could go back as a teenager, what would you do differently and why? Honestly, I think I would listen to my gut feeling a little more. There's nothing specific that I would do differently. I'm thankful for pretty much everything that happened, but I would listen to my gut feeling more, because I do think that it's a sign of self-love and it's important to listen to yourself. So I think that I would listen to that feeling a little more, because I knew when something was wrong. I knew when a person wasn't right for me. I knew when a person just was a bad person for me in that moment, and I still kept hanging out with them. I still wanted a friendship with them. I still wanted to be accepted, and that just led me to learn another lesson more, which I'm still proud, as I said, to have lived those kind of experiences, because they're still priceless. It's still important that you do learn those lessons though. So I would do that differently, but I'm still proud that those things happened. So the second question is, how do you walk up and actually talk to people? I'm so scared just to ask a retail employee where the men's section is, even though I know they won't care. How do you all do this? So I've always been pretty outgoing. Honestly, I've always been pretty open and I loved talking for since forever, but I've always been also kind of insecure and paranoid. So I would talk with people, I would talk with a bunch of people and then ask myself, oh my god, what are they gonna think? What are they gonna say? So what helped me a lot was just thinking, okay, what would I think? If I was them, what would I think? In this case, you would need to go to a retail employee and ask where the men's section is. So I would ask myself, what if I was the retail employee and someone would come to me and be like, hey, where's the men's section? What would I think? And the truth is that I would think, okay, the men's section is there, bye. So that helped me a lot, just putting myself in the other person's shoes and understand that I wouldn't pay that much attention to the other person so much that I would judge them just for a simple question, if that makes sense. Third question, very straightforward. Can you tell when we're high? I can tell when a teenager is high, because y'all are not very good at hiding it, but I'm 23, so I asked my mom. She said yes. Next question. Okay, so I'm about to go into my freshman year of college and I'm working full-time for the first time in my life. Is it always this boring? I work in an office doing service orders. I don't really get to talk to anyone, and I spend most of my day just on Reddit waiting until 5:30. How do you get through 8 hours for years? So I do think that it is boring if you choose something that doesn't satisfy you, meaning that I don't think that you need to choose a job that makes you happy. I don't think that a job has the power to make you happy. I think happiness comes from many other things, but the people around me, they all chose jobs that satisfy them a lot, and they do have bad days, they do have bad weeks in which they just want to stay home and say I really don't want to go to work today. But I don't think that I think that we just highlighted the choose a job that makes you happy a little too much, because I don't think that a job needs to make you happy. A job is very useful to make money and to be satisfied. So I would choose a job that satisfies you as much as possible, but for a job to make you happy, I think love makes happiness. I think family makes happiness. I think friendships make happiness. I don't think a job it's meant to make you happy. A job is boring. A job is meant to be boring sometimes, but it's meant to satisfy you, to be like a part of your life. It's not meant to be you. You're not your job. So I would love to know where you're at right now, because you wrote this comment 7 years ago. But I think that you are supposed to like and be happy for some parts of the job. I don't think you need to be happy for the job itself. I think a job is meant to be to make you satisfied and to make you feel full, but not happy. I don't think that's the role that a job has. Like I think, just to be clear, I think that the environment, for instance, of a job can make you happy. Like your co-workers, maybe you get along with them and it's amazing and you're happy for that. But that, you know, like some parts of the job are meant to make you happy, some parts are not. Some parts are boring, and then that's it. Do you really lose almost all of your friends as you get older? How the hell do you make friends as an adult? So it depends what you mean by the word losing. Honestly, I have few friends that I really trust and that I couldn't really live without. Like, one is the friend that I've met when I was in college, the other one I've met when I was in high school, and the other one I've met since we were newborns. Like, I really don't remember when we met. Like, we've been friends since forever. I just don't remember when we met. And those are like my 3 essentials friends. Like, I could not live without them. There are some friends that I'm still in contact with, that we still like sometimes talk and, you know, like, how's life going? Like, is everything great? But I wouldn't say I lose them. I'd say that we grew apart. We just grew apart. We have different priorities. We have different lives. And it's just great. We're still friends. Like, we still like each other, I guess. But it's just that we're not like... I think that as an adult, you start appreciating yourself and you start appreciating your life, and you realize that friends are not meant to be in your life as they used to be. Like, when I was little, I've always thought like life is a race and I am running and my friends and family are holding my hands. Now that I'm like a young adult, I realize that, yeah, life is a race, life is a challenge, but I'm running alone. Like, my friends and family are supposed to support me and be my first supporters, like my number one fans, like my number one supporters. But that's not, they're running their own race, they're running their own challenges, they're doing their own thing. We just support each other, we're here for each other, but we have our life. Like, we just, like, I think that we start appreciating our own individual life, instead of like being all together, being like I'm here for you like every second. Like, that's not friendships as adults. And I know it hurts. Like, I know that if you're a teenager, it might hurt to listen to this, but you will appreciate that. It's not sad. It might sound sad, but it's not sad to me, at least. Like, it's not that sad to me. Does it get better? I'm still technically a teen, but basically an adult doing taxes, filling out forms, buying groceries, keeping a monthly budget. Everything seems so impossible and terrifying. I don't know if I'm doing anything right, and I just feel like I'm one of those stereotypical millennials that are complaining about work. So yeah, it does get better if you're talking about the teenagers' issues. No, it doesn't get better if you're talking about having issues, because I do think that every age has its own problems. Like, I am in my 20s, so right now my problems are, where do I want to go in my life? What do I want to do? And at the same time, I see people having children. I see people getting married. I see people that were in elementary school with me that are already parents. And I'm like, this is crazy. This is not what I want to be like. So that is very anxious for me. And at the same time, I'm an adult. I pay my rent. I go to work. I study, because I'm still studying. Like, there are a lot of things that make no sense at my age. And at the same time, I see my sisters. They're both in their 30s, and they do have a lot of other issues. They just became mothers like few years ago. They have a lot, like, they have so many things to think about. I see my parents, my mom is in her 50s, my dad is in his 60s, and they do have different kind of issues, which incredibly are very similar to mine. They have issues with friendships, they have issues with co-workers. I just think that it's another point, like you're just seeing the same problems from another point of view as you grow up. This is what my take out from everything that's happening around me and from everything that's happening to me. So I do think that it gets better because you get better and you grow and you become another person. I don't think it gets better because life will always have issues. Like you're gonna like face challenges that you don't want to face. You're always seeing people that you don't want to see, and you have to get along with it. Like sometimes it's just how it is, and it just depends on the person you are. I think like if you don't take yourself too seriously and you allow yourself to grow and just like be a better person, everything will go better, even the most like the worst issues ever. But it's okay to have like a panic attack, to feel like bad, to have like a bad day, to have like an anxious day. Like it's okay to feel that way too, especially when you're an adult, like especially when you grow up, because you need to accept that part of yourself too. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go and read our last question. Most adults I've seen in my life are total idiots, but I tend not to associate with them. Good choice. How can I not turn into one of those people? I agree with you. Some adults are idiots. I'm gonna tell you something that my therapist told me when I was a teenager, which is you have to understand people that do not understand. Like sometimes people that have like they're like my parents' age will never ever get my point of view. They will never get it. It's just like they will never do it, and it's fine. Like it's okay. Like you will never get it, I will never get yours. We have to agree to disagree at this point. Like that's it. Okay, like that's I'm just gonna get along with that. So I think that sometimes it's just that we're different, and we have to accept the fact that okay, you're an idiot, I'm gonna just not be around you. I think it's important to me that like to be surrounded by the right kind of person. Like everyone around me, we have like very similar priorities, very similar characteristics. So like I'm a listener. Many of my friends are like tend to talk a lot, but they're also listeners, and I talk a lot. Like we're very like similar, we very like get along with each other despite our differences, because we do also have those. But it's important for me to have people around that have like very similar priorities to me, because sometimes it's not that adults are idiots. Sometimes they just have like different priorities from you, and that's it. Maybe having like a family for you is not like your priority, and you think that everyone that wants to have a family is an idiot, but maybe for them it's just like the most special thing they could ever have. Like, you know, it's just like to me Kiara, being like having a family, like having a husband and child and children is not my priority. It's not what I want. But for many of my friends it is, and it's great. Like, you know, you're happy with that, that's amazing. We're just different, that's it. Like, it's not that you're an idiot, it's just that we have different priorities. Some adults are idiots, just don't get along, don't talk with them. Just like completely bye, see you never, bye, don't. If they do not reach you, you're doing great avoiding them. Just like find people that can reach you and that can make you feel fulfilled and make you feel a better person, even though your differences. Like, find someone that you could learn from. So this was all for today. I hope you liked this video. This is kind of different. I hope you're gonna enjoy it, because I would love to do something like similar. So yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.